In this lesson, I want to talk about some creative uses of the minor pentatonic scale whenever you're improvising over minor chords. And for most of us bass players, we have a basic understanding of what the minor pentatonic scale is. You've probably seen the pattern before where you play this particular fingering. If I'm starting on a root, let's say C, and I'm playing the minor pentatonic scale from C, the notes in that would be C, E flat, F, G, B flat, and C. Okay, so a good basic fingering for that is if you put your first finger on the root C and you take up a two-note per string approach to the fingering, your span of your fingers basically are going to be in a one finger per fret approach. And you'd play the fingering 1, 4, 1, 3, 1, 3. All right, C minor pentatonic scale. Now, functionally, what we're playing are the notes root, which is 1, the flat 3, the 4, the 5, the flat 7, and then the octave if we're playing a one octave form. Okay, so the function of the notes is what really gives them relevance to the chord that we're playing over. And what a lot of us are already used to is the idea of matching up the minor pentatonic scale with corresponding minor chords. So in other words, let's say that you were playing a groove, a bass line, or an improvised solo for that matter. If you were playing over a C minor chord, you could use the C minor pentatonic scale to complement that particular chord and play what we would call, inside the chord change. All right. So an example of what that sounds like is this. It's very inside. It sounds very, very safe, and it's also very what I would call root centric, in that you hear that the pivot point for the idea is really centered around the actual root of the chord. But this is an example of improvising using the C minor pentatonic scale over a C minor chord. Okay, so that gives you a good basic idea of what I would consider the most basic use of that scale in an improvisational setting. Now, one of the things that I try to find whenever I'm looking to create new approaches, new tonalities, new implied colors, is to look at different places to start a form from. In other words, displacing the starting point of the scale or musical component to start from a different location relative to the chord to imply a different mood or a different color. With the minor pentatonic scale, we can do this in a couple different new locations. The first example I'm going to show you is moving the minor pentatonic scale starting point to the 5th of the chord. Okay, so we're still going to be dealing with this C minor chord, C minor sound. But instead of playing the C minor pentatonic scale, starting on the C, of course, we're actually going to play the G minor pentatonic scale starting from the G. So it's the same shape, and functionally it's the same structure, but now we're, of course, going to be playing different notes, keeping in line with how they would sit within the G minor pentatonic scale. So the notes of the G minor pentatonic scale are G, B flat, C, D, F, and G. Okay, so once again, same shape, but displaced to a new starting location. So we're starting the minor pentatonic scale from the 5 of C. The root of the chord is still C, but we're starting from the 5 of C. And I want to show you the different sound that it has over top this same C minor 7 background track. Notes of G minor pentatonic scale. Okay, so what we need to do now is look at the function of each of these notes relative to this C minor chord. So we're still playing over the same chord, but the notes that we're playing now are going to be functionally different than what they were starting on C. Starting on the G, with that minor pentatonic shape, we're starting with the 5, of course, right? Then the next note, B flat, that's the flat 7. The C is the root, of course. The D is the 2nd or the 9th, all right? And then the F is the 4th or the 11th, and then we start back again at G. So once again, functionally what we're playing when we play minor pentatonic from G is we're playing the 5, flat 7, root, 2 or 9, and then 4 or 11, okay? So now I want to play an example of what it sounds like improvising using the G minor pentatonic scale over the C minor chord. Okay, so as you can see, it has a different flavor to it, a slightly different color. So the mood of what you're playing changes, and that's what's so cool about this is now we're taking that small 5-note scale, and it's like we're casting new light on top of this chord. All right. So I'm going to show you one more idea like that. That's another displacement idea. We're going to take that same minor pentatonic scale, but this time we're going to start it from the D. Okay, so relative to C, which is the root of our C minor chord, we're going to be starting on the 2 instead, because D is the 2 of C. So when we play the D minor pentatonic scale, we have the notes D, F, G, A, and C. Okay, functionally what we're playing now are the 2 or the 9, the 4 or the 11, the 5, the 6 or the 13, and then the root before we start back over again at the 2. Okay, so this is going to have a slightly different color as well. And to me, out of all three of them, this is the one that really kind of sounds the most interesting. Okay, so here's what it sounds like improvising using the D minor pentatonic scale over a C minor chord.